Good morning, everyone. In this presentation, we will delve into the topic of conflict resolution and negotiation techniques. Our goal in this presentation is to introduce the principles and techniques of conflict resolution and negotiation, outlining the key strategies for managing disagreements, understanding conflict dynamics, and engaging in constructive dialogues. The focus is on practical approaches to achieving mutually beneficial outcomes and enhancing interpersonal relationships through effective negotiation and conflict resolution methods. At the end of this presentation, you will be able to interpret communication patterns. Before we dive into the content, let's establish some key terms that will guide our discussion today. Conflict resolution is the process by which two or more parties reach a peaceful solution to a dispute. In the context of overall conflict resolution, it involves identifying the underlying issues, addressing the needs and concerns of all parties involved, and employing various strategies to resolve differences amicably. Effective conflict resolution aims to restore relationships and promote understanding, often utilizing techniques such as mediation, arbitration, and collaborative problem solving to achieve mutually beneficial outcomes. Negotiation techniques are the methods and strategies used to facilitate discussions between parties with differing interests to reach a consensus. These techniques include preparation, active listening, clear communication, and the ability to compromise. Effective negotiation involves understanding the interests and positions of all parties, creating win-win scenarios, and utilizing tactics such as BATNA, best alternative to a negotiated agreement, anchoring and framing to guide the negotiation process towards a successful resolution. Constructive dialogue refers to an open, respectful, and productive conversation aimed at resolving conflicts or addressing complex issues. This type of dialogue encourages active listening, empathy, and the sharing of perspectives without judgment. In conflict resolution and negotiation, constructive dialogue is essential for creating an environment where all parties feel heard and valued, facilitating the discovery of common ground and the development of solutions that satisfy everyone's needs. Interpersonal relationships are the connections and interactions between two or more individuals. These relationships are built on communication, trust, and mutual respect. In the context of conflict resolution and negotiation, strong interpersonal relationships are crucial as they influence how conflicts are managed and resolved. Positive interpersonal relationships enable effective communication, collaboration, and the ability to navigate disagreements constructively, ultimately leading to more successful outcomes. Agreement strategies are the approaches and methods used to reach a consensus or finalize a deal between parties in negotiation or conflict resolution. These strategies include integrative bargaining, where parties collaborate to find mutually beneficial solutions, and distributive bargaining, where each party aims to maximize their own gains. Effective agreement strategies also involve setting clear objectives, understanding the interests of all parties, and developing creative solutions that address the core issues at hand. The goal is to arrive at an agreement that is satisfactory to all involved, ensuring long-term cooperation and harmony. The presentation begins with describing the overall picture of conflict resolution and negotiation techniques, offering an introduction to the core principles and techniques essential for resolving conflicts and negotiating effectively. Afterward, we establish the key terms that will guide our discussion, providing clear definitions for essential concepts in conflict resolution and negotiation. Subsequently, the analysis delves into common sources of conflict, emphasizing how differing values, goals, and perceptions can lead to disputes. We will specifically explore the impact of differing values on conflict, discussing how these fundamental differences can cause significant friction within teams and organizations. The presentation will continue to build on these foundations, offering practical strategies and real world examples to illustrate effective conflict resolution, concluding with a synopsis that will summarize our exploration. Conflict is an inevitable part of human interactions, arising from various sources that disrupt harmony and collaboration. Among the most common sources of conflict are differing values, goals, and perceptions. These elements often intertwine, creating complex situations that require careful navigation and resolution. Values represent deeply held beliefs about what is important and worthwhile. When individuals or groups have conflicting values, it can lead to significant disputes. For example, in a workplace, one person might prioritize innovation and risk taking, while another values stability and adherence to established procedures. Such fundamental differences can cause friction as each party may struggle to understand and respect the other's priorities. This clash of values can manifest in disagreements over decision making, resource allocation, and strategic direction. Goals are the specific outcomes that individuals or groups strive to achieve. Conflict arises when the goals of the parties involved are incompatible or mutually exclusive. In a business setting, for instance, departments might have competing objectives. The marketing team may aim to launch a new product quickly to capture market share, while the production team may prioritize thorough testing to ensure quality. These differing goals can create tension as each department advocates for its own interests, potentially at the expense of the other's success. Without effective communication and compromise, such goal conflicts can escalate, leading to reduced cooperation and productivity. Perceptions are the ways in which individuals interpret and understand the world around them. Because perceptions are shaped by personal experiences, background, and biases, they often vary significantly among individuals. These differences can lead to misunderstandings and miscommunications, which are fertile grounds for conflict. For example, a manager's directive might be perceived as micromanagement by one employee, but as supportive guidance by another. These varying interpretations can cause disputes if not addressed through clear and open communication. In summary, differing values, goals, and perceptions are common sources of conflict that can lead to disputes in various contexts. Recognizing and understanding these differences is the first step toward effective conflict resolution. By fostering an environment of open communication, empathy, and mutual respect, individuals and organizations can navigate this conflict more constructively, turning potential disputes into opportunities for growth and collaboration. Foundational conflict resolution strategies are essential tools for effectively addressing and resolving disputes, fostering a collaborative environment and ensuring that all parties feel heard and valued. Among these strategies, identifying common ground and employing active listening are particularly crucial in achieving successful conflict resolution. Identifying common ground involves finding shared interests, values, or goals among the conflicting parties. This strategy is fundamental because it shifts the focus from the differences that divide to the similarities that unite. By highlighting mutual interests, parties can build a foundation for cooperation and compromise. For example, in a workplace conflict, employees may have differing opinions on how to achieve a project objectives but share a common goal of the project's overall success. By acknowledging the shared goal, they can work together to find a solution that satisfies all parties. Identifying common ground not only facilitates agreement but also strengthens relationships by fostering a sense of unity and mutual respect. Active listening is another cornerstone of effective conflict resolution. It involves fully concentrating on what the other party is saying, understanding their message, responding thoughtfully, and remembering the information shared. Active listening requires a conscious effort to hear beyond the words being spoken, paying attention to the speaker's tone, body language, and emotional cues. This practice helps in understanding all perspectives involved, demonstrating empathy and validating the other party's feelings and concerns. By practicing active listening, conflict resolution facilitators can uncover the root causes of the dispute, clarify misunderstandings, and create an environment where all parties feel respected and understood. This approach not only resolves the immediate conflict, but also builds a foundation for healthier, more communicative relationships in the future. Incorporating foundational conflict resolution strategies such as identifying common ground and active listening can significantly enhance the process of managing and resolving disputes. These strategies promote a collaborative atmosphere, ensure that all voices are heard, and pave the way for mutually satisfactory outcomes. By focusing on shared interests and practicing empathetic communication, individuals and organizations can transform conflicts into opportunities for growth and strengthened relationships. Negotiation techniques are pivotal in conflict resolution as they provide structured approaches to reaching mutually beneficial agreements. Effective negotiation hinges on three critical components: thorough preparation, establishing clear goals, and adhering to the principles of win win negotiation. Preparation is a cornerstone of successful negotiation. It involves researching all relevant information, understanding the interests and positions of all parties, and anticipating potential challenges. Effective preparation means gathering data on the issues at hand, knowing the strengths and weaknesses of your position, and being aware of the other party's needs and constraints. This groundwork enables negotiators to enter discussions with confidence and clarity. Preparation also includes defining the best alternative to a negotiated agreement, which serves as a benchmark for acceptable outcomes and provides leverage in negotiations. Establishing clear goals is essential for guiding the negotiation process. Goals should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. By clearly defining what you aim to achieve, you can maintain focus and direction during discussions. Clear goals also help in prioritizing issues and determining what concessions can be made. For instance, in a business negotiation, a company might prioritize securing a long term partnership over immediate financial gains. Clearly articulated goals ensure that all parties understand the desired outcomes, facilitating more structured and productive negotiations. The principles of win win negotiation emphasize creating solutions that satisfy the interests of all parties involved. This approach contrasts with zero sum or win lose negotiations, where one party's gain is perceived as the other's loss. Win win negotiation focuses on the collaboration and mutual benefit. Key principles include separating people from their problem, focusing on interest rather than positions, generating multiple options for mutual gain, and using objective criteria to evaluate solutions. By fostering an environment of cooperation and creative problem solving, win win negotiation leads to sustainable agreements that strengthen relationships and promote long term success. Effective negotiation techniques in conflict resolution rely heavily on thorough preparation, establishing clear goals, and adhering to the principle of win win negotiation. These elements not only enhance the likelihood of reaching a satisfactory agreement, but also ensure that the process is collaborative and respectful. By preparing diligently, setting clear objectives, and striving for mutually beneficial outcomes, negotiators can resolve conflicts effectively, fostering positive and enduring relationships. As we move forward in our exploration of the topic of conflict resolution and negotiation techniques, it's important to take a moment to reflect on what we have covered and how it relates to your own experiences. Consider the scenarios and strategies discussed and think about how they apply to real world situations you have encountered. Reflection is a key part of learning, as it allows you to internalize concepts and prepare to apply them effectively in the future. What are some common sources of conflict in a workplace setting? How can differing values and goals lead to conflict within a team? How would you apply the principles of win-win negotiation in a situation where two teams have opposing views? What are the benefits of preparing thoroughly before entering a negotiation? Imagine you are a mediator in a conflict between two teams with different priorities. What steps would you take to address the conflict? In what ways can identifying shared goals help in resolving a dispute between team members? The marketing department at Creative Solutions, a mid-sized advertising agency, has recently encountered significant internal conflict. The primary issue revolves around the launch of a new product campaign, which has caused friction between the creative team and the account management team. The creative team, led by Sarah, values innovation and risk-taking, advocating for a bold, unconventional campaign. In contrast, the account management team, headed by John, prioritizes client satisfaction and adherence to established guidelines, pushing for a more traditional approach. This clash of values and goals has led to escalating tensions and missed deadlines and a decline in team morale. As the conflict intensifies, both teams have become entrenched in their positions, communicating less and fostering an atmosphere of mistrust. Sarah feels that John's team is stifling creativity, while John believes Sarah's team is ignoring client needs and jeopardizing the project's success. The situation has reached a point where upper management fears the conflict could jeopardize not only the campaign, but also the overall productivity and harmony within the department. Let's now work on resolving the issue at Creative Solutions. Before we proceed, please take a moment to consider and answer the following questions. How can Creative Solutions handle the conflict between the creative team and the account management team effectively? Reflect on the steps the company should take to address the core issues and restore harmony within the department. What strategies can Sarah use to ensure her team's innovative ideas are considered while addressing John's concerns for client satisfaction? Consider how Sarah can balance creativity with practicality to meet both her team's and the client needs. How can a mediator help both teams identify common ground in their approaches to the new product campaign? Think about the role of the mediator in finding shared goals and values between the creative and account management teams. What specific actions should John take to demonstrate active listening and empathy towards Sarah's team? Ponder on how John can show that he values the creative team's input while ensuring that clients' expectations are met. Why is it important for both teams to establish clear, SMART goals for the campaign, and how can this help in resolving their conflict? Reflect on the significance of setting specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals, SMART, in the negotiation process. How can employing win-win negotiation principles lead to a sustainable resolution in this case? Consider the benefits of focusing on collaboration and mutual benefit in resolving the conflict between the two teams. Let's now introduce how Creative Solutions solved their internal conflict. To address this conflict, the company decides to implement several foundational conflict resolution strategies and negotiation techniques. The first one, preparation and identifying common ground. A mediator is brought in to facilitate discussions. Both teams are asked to prepare by listing their core concerns, goals, and the value they see in their respective approaches. During a joint meeting, the mediator helps both teams identify common ground. They recognize that both teams share the goal of delivering a successful campaign that enhances the company's reputation and meets the client's expectations. The second one, active listening and constructive dialogue. The mediator encourages active listening, where team members must listen to each other's perspectives without interrupting, followed by summarizing what they have heard to ensure understanding. This practice reveals underlying concerns and allows both teams to feel heard and respected. 3. Establishing clear goals and win win negotiation. With the common ground identified, the mediator guides the teams in setting clear, smart goals for the campaign. These goals include innovative elements to satisfy the creative team and reliable components to ensure client satisfaction. They employ win win negotiation techniques, brainstorming creative solutions that incorporate both innovative ideas and client focused strategies. 4. Resolution and outcome. Through these strategies, both teams agree on a campaign that blends bold, creative concept with elements that align with the client's brand guidelines. They decide to include innovative visuals and interactive elements within a structured framework that the client can review and approve in stages. This compromise satisfies both the creative and account management teams, restoring collaboration and trust. The successful resolution of this conflict not only saves the campaign but also enhances team cohesion and morale. The experience teaches both teams valuable lessons in communication, empathy, and the importance of balancing creativity with practicality in their future projects. In this comprehensive exploration of conflict resolution and negotiation techniques, we have delved into various strategies essential for managing and resolving disputes effectively. We began by defining key terms such as conflict resolution, negotiation techniques, constructive dialogue, interpersonal relationships, and agreement strategies, setting a solid foundation for understanding the dynamics involved in resolving conflicts. Our discussion highlighted common sources of conflict, such as differing values, goals, and perceptions, and how these elements can lead to disputes in various contexts. By recognizing and understanding these differences, we can approach conflict resolution with empathy and mutual respect, transforming potential disputes into opportunities for growth and collaboration. We introduced foundational conflict resolution strategies, emphasizing the importance of identifying common ground and employing active listening. These strategies help create a collaborative environment where all parties feel heard and valued, fostering successful conflict resolution. Additionally, we covered negotiation techniques that are pivotal in conflict resolution, focusing on thorough preparation, establishing clear goals, and adhering to the principles of win win negotiation. These elements enhance the likelihood of reaching satisfactory agreements while ensuring a respectful and collaborative process. The case study of creative solutions illustrated the practical application of these strategies in a real-world scenario. The marketing department faced internal conflict between the creative team, led by Sarah, and the account management team, headed by John. By employing foundational conflict resolution strategies such as preparation, active listening, and identifying common ground, alongside win win negotiation techniques, the company successfully resolved the conflict. The mediator facilitated discussions, helped both teams set clear, smart goals, and guided them towards a compromise that blended creative innovation with client satisfaction. Thank you for your attention and engagement throughout this presentation. We hope that the insights and strategies discussed have provided you with a deeper understanding of conflict resolution and negotiation techniques. Thank you once again, and we wish you success in your future endeavors.